welcome to my kitchen again, also the Amici's kitchen. Today is actually our 6th week of doing this together, so I'm so excited.
Yeah.
On our 6th week today, we are actually taking a drive to Sicily because that's where our dish comes from today. So when I had decided to do this, I'm trying to think of things that you guys already may have in your pantry. So I'm trying to, keep things simple and keep it so that you can change it up if you want to. So today's recipe is called Arrancini, and I apologize that I did not get a chance to put the recipe up online. We were very busy last night, thank God. So this is it, and I apologize because I don't know if you'd be able to follow along. But basically, it's just a few ingredients, again, that you should have in your pantry. It's just 2 cups of rice. It basically should be arborio rice, which is an Italian rice used for risotto. A chopped meat, some frozen peas, a can of tomatoes if you have it, an onion, a thing of mozzarella cheese, and then some breadcrumbs for an egg wash. So as you can see, whenever you see breadcrumbs and egg wash, you must know we're going to fry something. Everybody loves fried food. Arrancini are from Sicily. They can be served either hot or warm, and here in a restaurant they're used as an appetizer. We don't have them on our menu yet, but that is my next plan once we get back situated and rolling again. We can also improvise with this. It's easy for me. I have everything at my fingertips here at the restaurant, but if you don't have fresh mozzarella already cut up like this, you can use the store-bought one. You can get the block and cut it up. If you have a bag of shredded, you can use that. If you have cheddar, if you have goat cheese. One of our customers recommended goat cheese last night, and I think this would be really good with this. I have the frozen peas here that are thawing. I have my hamburger meat, and I have my rice already made. I didn't want to take the time to actually go through and make the risotto. So I have actually authentic Japanese rice here. And you might say, wow, why are we using Japanese rice? Well, because it's very sticky, and that's exactly what we need for this recipe. So my daughter actually just cooked this in a rice cooker, and just the backstory on this rice, my future son-in-law, which is Abby's fiance, he's part Japanese, his mama, and he brought the rice into us. He loves and eats it constantly. So when I was telling him to make rice balls, he said, oh, JJ, I can bring you the rice. He walks in with like a 25-pound bag of rice. So needless to say, we're only using 2 cups, but this is actually 4 cups because I'm going to make some extra and sell them at the restaurant tonight. So Anthony gave me the rundown on how to use Japanese rice, and so I think it's going to work really well. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the filling for the rice balls. So we're going to cook a little bit of the pound of ground beef in a frying pan here, saute pan. We have a lot going on here. We have the start of our marinara over here. We have soup going over there. So I'm going to try to keep everything in its place. Okay, so we're going to ground up this ground beef in a pan here. Let me see if I can get it going a little faster for you guys. And the flame went off again. That's why we don't use this side. All right. And as with everything else, you have to season it. So once we get this all spread out here, I'm just going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to it. If you like your rice balls a little bit spicy, you could add a little bit of crushed red pepper in there, not too much because people don't like things spicy. All right, so I went ahead already and I've got our deep fryer going because we are going to be frying these. And I took out stuff to make an egg wash. Over there, I've got my breadcrumbs and my eggs ready to go. And I've got all the other ingredients. This is such an easy dish. Like I said, it's like 4 or 5 ingredients again, right out of the pantry. You can improvise. Yes, you can use turkey here, pork, veal, lamb, whatever, ground beef meat you have. The traditional one is beef. So the backstory a little bit on Arrancini, like I said, they come from Sicily, and the name means little oranges. Arancia in Italian means orange. So you might say, well, why is it going to be orange? Well, because in the classic recipe, they use saffron. And saffron is a very expensive spice from India. It has a very pungent smell to it, and it's orange. And whatever you add it to, it makes it orange. So that's how they got their name. And then when they roll them in Sicily, they don't roll them in like a complete ball like we do. They roll them in like an orange with like, it has like the little nipple on the top. So that's another reason why they're called arancia. Okay, so this is grounded up really quick. You're going to realize how quickly these dishes are that we've been making every week. And I can't believe, we're on our 6th one already. I never thought, I figured I would do it once just to bite some time off, but we all know we're living in a world of uncertainties right now, so we're just going to keep going, and hopefully we get the word soon that maybe we can have some people join us in here. This is browning up. Do I need to say hello to anybody?
Beverly's watching.
Beverly from Virginia Beach. Thank you for buying the gift certificate for us. We look forward to you and Larry coming down.
Lucia's watching.
Lucia can probably make a mad Arrancini. She's a great cook. Okay, this is almost done. Doesn't take long to brown up meat.
Oh, Carmine's here too.
Carmine, now he is really the expert on these because Carmine's from Sicily. How I got started making arancini was a long time ago. When I first moved here, I worked at a restaurant and we were going to participate in the Italian festival. And we didn't know what to do. We were like, well, everybody's going to do pizza, everybody's going to do ziti. So we said, well, how about we do rice balls? They're great, they're easy, and they'll sell really quickly. We ended up making over 500 that year. So I got a lot of practice, so I'm actually really good at it now. And then when I started working here, and actually I wanted to share last week with you was 7 years that I walked through this building. And I didn't walk through as the owner, I walked through as a server. I worked the day shift, the lunch. Barely anybody came through the door, it was very lonely. And I thought to myself, oh my God, how am I going to work here all day? It's going to be so quiet. Slowly by surely, everybody started coming in. The place got so crowded, I met so many customers. I eventually bought it, and I still have those customers today. So that's how you build relationships in a business. Okay, so we are finished with this. And I'm going to take the meat out. I happen to use a really low-fat meat, so I don't have, if you use like a 70-30 or even an 80-20, you're probably going to have to drain the grease out of it because you don't want those in the rice balls. Okay, so we've got those here. Now, basically what goes inside the rice ball is a bolognese sauce, and we made that on the 2nd week together. So I already have marinara cooking as usual. I mean, I should. If I don't have marinara in here, what kind of Italian restaurant are we? Okay, the recipe calls for 1/4 cup of peas. And I'm just going to put these frozen peas in here along with the meat. Mix those all together. It's actually looking pretty good already. And then what I'm going to do is, to bind it all together, we're going to put some marinara in here. The marinara we already made. As you see, we actually are getting ready to make another batch here. This is the pan it goes in. Always stir with a wooden spoon. And that's the tomatoes ready to go. So I'm just going to take a scoop of this already made marinara, and I'm going to put it in here. So if you were doing a can of tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, or if you have tomato sauce, or whatever it may be in the pantry, I'm so sorry, it would be a 28-ounce can. So try to remember that. And basically all we're doing here is mixing all of this together. Because this is going to be the inside filling of the rice balls. Okay, so that's pretty much well mixed, and I'm pretty sloppy. Okay. Alrighty, and I will add a little bit of Parmesan cheese in here for a little more flavor. Cheese never hurts, right? So we'll mix that up. And whenever you put cheese onto something hot, it immediately, the aroma is amazing. I could probably eat just this bowl of filling. Okay, so we're going to set this aside because it's finished. And what we're going to do now is we're going to start to get our egg wash ready. And I have 4 eggs here. I'm going to just crack them into the bowl. Doesn't matter if they're room temperature or cold because it's going to be an egg wash. Alrighty. We're going to beat them up with a fork just like you would a scrambled egg. We're not going to add any milk to this or water or whatever you make your scrambled eggs with. All we're basically doing is just going to scramble the plain eggs up. And I have a bowl of breadcrumbs over here. Some are plain and then some are seasoned like Italian breadcrumbs. You can actually use panko if you want it as well. That's actually very good. They're very crusty and they make a nice crunch on whatever you fry. If you are a gluten-free person, this is a great little appetizer for you because you can actually buy gluten-free breadcrumbs now. Okay, so we're going to get started here. I'm going to try to do whatever we make always seems to be messy, but you know what? If you're not a messy cook, you're not having fun. So we're going to try to make these balls all the same size. So I brought a quarter of a cup, third of a cup. So I think this might be good. And we're going to take, okay, yeah, this is going to be perfect. And like Anthony said, if they get sticky, if the rice gets sticky, you just stick your hand in some water and we're going to form a ball. Glad he gave me my lesson last night. Okay, so we have a ball formed here and you want to make it down flat like this, probably about maybe 3 inches, and make a little indent in it. And we're going to put a little bit of the filling inside and then a piece of this mozzarella. Now, like I said, I already have these ready to go here for me, but if you don't, you could put the shredded in there or whatever cheese you have. We're going to fold up the sides now. Make sure you hide the cheese, whatever you do, because if that comes out of the center, it's going to go all over and it won't be inside. We could add a little more to this, These are very, very rustic recipes. They don't have to be perfect. And I have a perfectly shaped rice ball here. So there's one. I'm going to do a couple and show you how they come out. Take another quarter of a cup here. Actually, yeah, quarter of a cup. This is actually sushi rice, and I understand why they use it now. It is wonderful. Carmine, don't kill me for not using arborio. Okay, I'm going to put a little more filling in the center here and a piece of cheese. Now, there's many, many different recipes here for, and I squeeze it down just like that and hide that little cheese in there. We don't want him popping out. I looked online to watch some of these, like little tutorials on this, and some people don't put the filling in it. Some people just put a piece of cheese in the center. If you don't want to put the filling in, then just don't. Because this might end up to be just a new wave kind of fried mozzarella inside of a rice ball. And like I said, these are really big sellers at the restaurant. I mean, once I put it online that I was making them, I already had people place orders for them for tonight and tomorrow. Alrighty. I'm going to do another one here. And another piece of cheese inside. If you want more cheese, add more cheese. Now this rice was cooked in a rice cooker, like I said, and it literally took, what, 15 minutes?
Yeah, 15.
Maybe 10 minutes. When we got here, Abby quickly put it in the rice cooker. Was it equal parts water?
You have to clean out the rice, and then you have to have a little bit more water so it's like that much room of water above the rice, and that's like the Asian secret.
Abby's fiance is half Asian, so she's bringing all these wonderful culinary delights and sharing them.
Thanks, Miss Betty. I know she's watching.
Betty got us the 25-pound bag of rice today. We definitely owe her a rice ball or two. Okay, so I'm just going to make about 4 here, just to show you. And then I will end up doing the rest later. Last week with the leftover pasta that I had, I ended up actually with so much leftover pasta, we used it for fettuccine alfredos for the restaurant, and I actually used it for a lasagna. So I rolled it out so far, it was able to make a lasagna. So when we say we're homemade, we're actually homemade. Okay, so we've got rice balls here. Let me just fix him. We don't want anybody opening up in the oil. Okay, perfect. Okay, so everybody knows when you bread anything, it's either called dredging. So you set up your dredging station. A lot of people like to do flour, egg wash, breadcrumb, but I just like to do, for this, I just like to do this. There's enough starch in these where we don't need to add flour. So also when you are breading anything, you want to keep one hand dry, one hand wet. Because when you do both, you just get this gloppy mess on here and it doesn't work well at all. So I'm going to put the rice ball in the egg wash very gently. Wet hand goes into dry. And we're going to roll him around. Cover him up with the breadcrumbs. We're going to do the same for him. I'm going to put him in the breadcrumbs. You want them all covered, okay? In the wash. In the breadcrumbs. When we do them at the restaurant here, we have a big station in the back where we get out big bowls and we do our veal, we do our eggplant and the chicken. We try to do all the breading on one day. Okay, this is a big guy here.
Yeah, how many would you put in like an appetizer order?
Of this size, probably 2 or 3.
Yeah.
These are really big arancini, as you see. I mean, you can make them bite size. It's really up to you, whatever you want to do. We've had them smaller, but I like everything big. All right, I'm just making sure these are all packed down. And now I'm going to put them in my deep fryer. And I mean, luckily me, of course, again, I have a nice deep fryer. So I'm going to put these in here. And put the smaller ones over here because they're going to cook faster. And we're just going to put it down and let them fry. Gloria, how many days? You just tell me when you're coming down from Jersey and I will make sure I have these for you. And you're the lady that makes me macaroons. How could I not have rice balls for you? They usually take about 4 minutes to cook, in the oil. Our oil is set very high, and we have see, look at this already. Look how beautiful they are. All you Southerners must be going crazy over this frying. Just going to keep them down for a couple minutes more. All right. If anybody wants to order these, we're not open till 4, so we can have them ready for you. If I keep them this size, there's going to be 2 in an order. And I already promised 2 to Anthony and 2 to his mom, Betty, because they gave me that amazing rice. And like I said, if you didn't have that like I did, I had the privilege of having that. You could just use regular rice from the grocery store. Arborio works the best because it's sticky. It's got a lot of starch in it.
But if you wanted to use like a minute rice or something like, or a rice like Uncle Ben's, you could. You're just gonna have to keep wetting your hands and making sure.
Yeah, Lucia says she's using arborio.
Arborio.
She's got it at home.
Right. Okay. So we're gonna take these out of here. We're gonna put them on a plate already that I have made up. And I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan cheese over top of them. And this is basically how we would serve them in the restaurant. We would serve them with marinara sauce because, you know, it's for dipping like that. You could probably, nowadays, they're making like mango, habanero, like all these wonderful, wonderful different things for it. So I'm going to try to open this up and show you the inside. And that's what they look like inside. Has the cheese is all melted in here. They're very hot, it's burning my fingers. And so then you just dip it in here. It's crunchy on the outside, yet it's soft on the inside. And I have the bolognese in there and the cheese, and it's just a great little appetizer. You could serve, if you had enough of these, you could actually have them with dinner with the vegetable. They're very delicious. You gonna have some?
Oh my god, it's so hot.
It's very hot.
But it's good.
They're amazing, guys. And
So
I
good.
hope you enjoy this. You can get like a little vegetable in there with the heat. So it has everything in there. Play around with them, mix them up, try the goat cheese. That might be a great idea. Enjoy your kitchen. Don't forget to stay well and eat well. And maybe we'll see you next week for week 7. Have a great day.